You know, I defy anyone not to listen to Peace of Mind by Bob Andy. And if that doesn't make you want to cry, then you don't have a soul. Bob Andy's Peace of Mind for me is almost like a psalm of David. The work of Bob Andy has been an inspiration to me over the years, because in those 2 minutes and 40 seconds, you can find a joy for living and a reason for living. I frequently play at the festivals, Could You Be Loved? Yes. But one of the, Is This Love by Bob Marley. And because that song is a song of hope for two people. We'll share in my bed, we'll share this bed together, just the two of us. We'll live just the two of us. Because ultimately there's so much hate in the world, there's so much anger, we're living in a more violent world, young people hating on each other when they could be loving each other, not sharing anything, zoned off, ganged off, territories broken down, communities broken down. It breaks my heart. It breaks all of our hearts, because love, in the words of Bob Andy and all the great writers and artists of our times and previous times, have always told us that we can overcome this because of love, if only we could find that love. And, you know, essentially, I believe this music is about love. We've had negative press because some elements of the music have concentrated on aspects of people's lives which, frankly, have got nothing to do with what this music was about. This music, in my opinion, was always about justice, rights, love, understanding, humility, and sharing and helping your brothers and sisters. Some of the greatest ghetto songs that emulated from those small studios in Western Kingston were about sharing, loving, repairing, you know, the tragedy of a broken heart. Don't even start me on Delroy Wilson and the songs that he's written and recorded. There have been, from such a small island, a small capital city, and in a small part of that capital city, these songs over the years that have come forth, Dennis Brown, Gregory Isaacs, so many names that we could list them all night here, we still wouldn't get to the end of them. But essentially, this music, and the reason why this music is still so popular, is because it is essentially about love and justice and standing up for people who have been downtrodden. Not just in the African journey, of course, as Maccabee says in his new album when he describes that journey from Africa to Jamaica, and 500 years. Maccabee's made a track about that. He's talked about the fact that you, on the radio and television, you're bombarded with, can you make a claim? Would you like to make a claim because of an accident at work, a car crash, unlawful disengagement from work? And he's done a new recording based on that, but his story is, I want to make a claim for the loss of my culture and my name. And when I heard that song, I shivered, because he describes where this thing comes from. Are people who were oppressed for 400 years. If you go and see, as we all have, as the beginning of the Bob Marley film starts with the door of no return, to think that people made that journey and never came back. This music is born from that, and that's why it's so important. And that's why it is so passionate, and that's why I think it has such an effect on people, because it is so soulful.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very pleasant good morning to you. Thank you again for stopping by the People's Forum with Big Stone. My disclaimer to this, I've never met David Rodigan. I'm not coerced to say what I'm about to say about David Rodigan, but I think I know him somewhat. And my reason for saying that, you will find out after you hear the rest of this video. My first thought of David Rodigan when I heard of him as this white British selector, disc jockey, who is armed with an archive of reggae music and who plays reggae music continuously from as early as in the 1960s to now, I didn't think much, to be honest with you. I am saying here we have a white man who, I don't know, want to take advantage of our sweet legacy that we have to his own accord. And in a way, he have done that. But I just didn't like the name David Rodigan, to be honest with you. But a friend of mine that I met recently, his name is Jason Enzel, and I was interviewing Jason. And when I interviewed Jason, I found out that after going through some pictures and so on to do the interview, I found out that he knew David Rodigan. And I said, let me find out a little bit more because Jason Enzel is a cool guy, very, very cultural Jamaican brother who loved the culture based on the lineage of his father so much that his father did the movie the other day, Come, and the rest is history, with Jimmy Cliff. But to know that he's a very good friend of David Rodigan make me want to investigate and do my research on David Rodigan. And ladies and gentlemen, I was into a big, big, big surprise. When I started my research, I found out that David Rodigan, and let me go to the facts, because I don't want to put this in my own words. David Michael Rodigan MBE is a British radio DJ who also performs as a disc jockey. Known for his selection of reggae and dancehall music, he has played on stations including Radio London, Capital 95.5, Kiss 100, BBC Radio 1 Extra, BBC Radio 2, and BFBS Radio. He was born on June 24th, 1951. He's 68 years old and was actually born in Hanover, Germany. He's married, his spouse name is Elaine Rodigan, and he has numerous amounts of album and his children, Jamie Rodigan and Halvor Rodigan, and he was even in a movie, Shackleton. And then I started to dig deeper about who is this man that is so filled with the knowledge and the history. And when I'm talking about the knowledge and the history, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about how David can remember dates, time, he can remember incidents, he can remember names. I was blown away, I was startled to know that this white man from England knows so much about our music. And we here, not even myself, at age 62 and he's 68, 6 years older than me, and he knows so much about our music. Make me want to dig deeper to find out more about this man. And one thing I like about David is that he shares his success with everyone. He's somewhat quite like me, or because he's older, I'm somewhat quite like him, because everyone on the journey of your success is very important to what you have become. You could not have become who you are without the people who support you, who give you ideas, who motivate you, who make you want to rise some of the times when you're down. And that strikes me a lot. I love that about David Rodigan. And some of the things that I observed, ladies and gentlemen, in doing my research. I'll take you back to, say, 1985, when he was in a clash with one of Jamaica's best, Barry Gordon. And he said it was 1985 when he was at the Walter Fletcher Beach. I know you're going to remember this, David. And Barry G was actually playing his selections when somebody called him backstage. And when that person called him backstage, he said, listen, I have none other than Augustus Pablo. He said, what? And when he went backstage, there was the lanky one, the great Augustus Pablo. And he said Augustus just opened up his jacket and showed him his melodica, that instrument that he plays. And he said to David, David, I came here to play for you. And the rest is history, ladies and gentlemen. The rest is history. Augustus Pablo played that night at Walter Fletcher Beast and the house, as David put it, which was so rowdy that people clamoring from the embers. At one point, he thought the whole place was going to fall in, and it shows me the passion about David, how much he likes the music and love the people. Another memorable occasion, ladies and gentlemen, that I like about David was when he was in New York and he was against one of the biggest sound systems. And that is why I'm doing this video, because we want to save our music. We want to save this great legacy that was given to us by some of the greatest Jamaican artists of all time. And to see David armed up here in his mind and in his heart with all these information, I personally say hats off to you, Sir David Rodigan. And this is what I remember in doing my research on David, was the fact that he was doing a clash with Mighty Crown. Now, Mighty Crown is a sound from Tokyo, Japan. Mighty Crown have come to Jamaica and have annihilated other sound systems here in Jamaica, playing their own music. And David said the reason why Mighty Crown was able to do that was over the years they amassed a great amount of dub plates. Dub plates, ladies and gentlemen, that nobody had, and they never played it. They never played it. And when they brought this dub plate out, it was like something people have never heard before. And he said while he was there in the competition with Mighty Crown, he saw Wycliffe Jean backstage. And Wycliffe Jean came over to him and said, Mr. Rodigan, I have the song that is going to win you this clash. And he said it was like a phenomenon, a feeling, a greatness came over him. Now, here is he, a great, great selector, in a clash. Never heard this dub plate before, being given to him by a great artist, of course, Wycliffe. And he's about to take the chance of a lifetime and to play this song that was given to him by Wycliffe. And ladies and gentlemen, he said he put that song in the turntable, in the slot. It was a CD, and the song was Maria, Maria. And he said the place was torn down. His belief in a song that he has never heard before tells me that this is a man that really cares about our music. No, I don't know David personally, like I said in my beginning. But ladies and gentlemen, we must honor those who honor us. We must respect those who respect us. There's a lot of things that's been said about David. Yes, I've heard quite a few, going around. But one cannot tell me how to think of an individual until I personally do my own research and find out for myself what this person is all about. Another great moment in doing my research, ladies and gentlemen, was when David had a clash with Ninja Man. You must have remembered the famous Elvis and Ninja Man clash. And he said he didn't know what to do. He wanted to come dressed as a ninja, but he said, Ninja Man might just do that. He didn't know what to wear. And then he was riding the train or a bus, and he overheard a song, done by Elvis Presley. And the song was, "You're caught in the trap, you can't get out, you know how much I need you, baby." And when he dropped that top on Ninja Man, the place was sheer pandemonium. That's David Rodigan. So the long and short of it, that we must respect our music. We must honor our music. We must wake up and save reggae music. David Rodigan has played his part and is still playing his part. We owe him a lot. Being on a radio station and being on some of the most sophisticated radio stations in London where reggae music coming out of Jamaica, we must honor and respect Sir David Rodigan for his style, his class, his way of projecting the music, announcing the music, and his passion for the music. You remember the first time he came into Kingston, Jamaica, and he spoke about the fact that it was in the 60s, of course, and he went over to Portmore. And then he said it looked as if all the mosquitoes in Portmore came out to welcome him because he was like fresh meat, they sting him all over. But he didn't mind that, It was his joy of meeting King Tubby, Prince Jammy at that time, soon to be named King Jammies, and meeting with Bob Marley for the first time in London, seeing Bob Marley, and actually shaking his hand. And when Bob Marley left with Waya Lindo in a taxi, he said Bob Marley actually waved to him. He cherished these memories. His first dub plate, he cherished these memories. And I'm saying we should take a page out of David Rodigan's book. We should, because here is a man that was not born in Jamaica. He was born in Germany. And he has amassed so much wealth of knowledge about our music, our own music. And we here in Jamaica, some of us, all we do is sit around and criticize, and we're not doing a goddamn thing about it. Why criticizing? You're not going to step up to the plate and play your part. You might not be like a David Rodigan, right? But you can do your own little part to preserve the sweet legacy of the music. The music is responsible for some of the hideous thoughts and behavior of our children, of our youngsters. I saw a video floating around of a brother, young Jamaican man, looked like he was beaten by a mob and starved by a mob, and possibly a stone was dropped in his head. Sound kind of cold, but I have to tell you the truth. And while people were there, he was like gasping for air. And I overheard something that troubled me. Of all the things that they said, thief and criminal and ray, them say we don't like thief round, yeah. We love murderer, but we don't like thief. From your thief, you're dead. What's the difference between a murderer and a thief? But which one is greater? You taking someone's life, or you probably hungry and need something to eat, and you think at that time, which is a wrong judgment, to go and take something that belongs to somebody else. That bothers me. Another thing also, ladies and gentlemen, the words of some of these songs, ratchet knife in her neck, this, that. I saw another video of an elderly man, looked like he's in his late 40s, lying on his back with a ratchet knife stuck in his neck, dead as a doornail. And I'm saying, let's get back to reggae music. Let's free up the music. Sweet, melodious sound, as David Rodigan would put it, a sound that touches the core of your heart. Come on, let's wake up and spell the coffee. David Rodigan, sir, I would love to meet you one of these days and shake your hand and say thank you for helping to preserve the music, for helping to make the music what it has become today. It has been your contribution, sir, that has helped to propel reggae music to the four corners of the world. You mentioned playing in places like Venice, Switzerland, France, Germany, England, United States of America. You played all over the world with reggae music, and you put and helped to put our music to the four corners of the earth. David Rodigan, given the distinction of MBE by the Queen of England. I have to say, you deserve your accolades, sir, and you're indeed Sir David Michael Rodigan, the Ram Jam Master. Thank you very much for watching, and I do hope you can start loving our music some more and make our music great. And Mr. Prime Minister, we need the dance hall. We need to hear the sweet sound of reggae music being played in the four corners of this island. Because, Mr. Prime Minister, the music back then, just the way the bass plays and the horns and the treble and the sweetness and the melodious sound, as David Rodigan put it, of reggae music. Let's preserve it. It is our heritage and it is our treasure. Thank you very much for watching. Please have a good sweet reggae music day. Thank you.